Today I'm taking you to visit painter and potter Pippa Alston. Tucked away on the Lizard Peninsula in Cornwall, Lowenek Art Studio is where you'll find Pippa making pots or painting landscapes. Pippa studied illustration at Falmouth University before training and teaching as a secondary school art teacher in Hazelmere for 4 years. At the beginning of 2021, she took the bold decision to relocate back to Cornwall to begin converting an old farm building on her parents' farm, and has now set up her dedicated art studio. From here, she makes a range of coastal-inspired mugs and jugs, as well as painting sea and landscapes. Open to the public by appointment, if you fancy making a pot yourself, Pippa hosts numerous workshops throughout the year. I chat with Pippa about her studio, we find out about the name behind it and why she set it up. She tells us about her inspiration, her art process, and we hear about her plans for the future. I hope you enjoy this conversation that I have with Pippa, and do let me know in the comments below which parts you enjoyed the most. I'm Mel Chadwick. This is Creative Conversations. Hi guys, welcome to another Creative Conversation. Here I am in the studio of Pippa Alston. Welcome, Pippa.
Hi.
Welcome to Creative Conversations.
Thank you.
So glad that you've invited us into your studio.
It's lovely to have you.
So let's begin. Who are you and what do you do in this space?
So I'm Pippa, and kind of a mixture of painting and pottery in this space. So yeah, a bit of everything. I really like creating, so just having a go really at most things.
And have you been here long in the studio?
Not in the studio. I've grown up here, so lived here the whole of my life. And then this was an old barn, which back in January I came home, and it used to be a workshop actually. So you can see the benches over there. They were always there, and it was just full of stuff. So I kind of gutted it and painted it and turned it into my studio.
Now, the name of your studio is Lowenek, is that right?
Yeah.
That's a Cornish name.
It is a Cornish name.
So could you tell us what that means and why did you choose that name?
Yeah, so Lowenek means joyful. So I didn't want to put my name on it, and I didn't want to put one art form. So I wanted it to cover a range of art forms, but also have the potential to grow. So I called it Lowenek because I wanted it to be a joyful experience when you come in here and creating artwork. So I went with that. I went through many names, but I finally settled on that one.
And it is a beautiful, beautiful space.
Thank you.
I mean, I love how you've kind of painted a few walls. So you've got like a wall which has got this ombre effect.
Yeah.
And like kind of go from dark blue to light blue.
Yeah.
And then on another wall, you've got some really nice botanical kind of leaf paintings.
Yeah.
So it does definitely feel a joyful space, and the light as well is
yes,
beautiful.
I've got the skylight, so yeah, it's really nice and bright. Yeah, this wall was the first thing I did actually. Once I'd gutted it out of all the stuff, it was actually in lockdown 3, and I just asked my friends around here if they had any old tins of paint that's blue or green, and I ended up with quite a few, and I thought, right, ombre wall it is. Yeah. So that was that one, and then I used them to also do the flowers as well.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more about the space and what is in the space, what equipment you have.
So when I planned it with different stations in mind. So I kept the workbenches over there, and that's kind of, I store all my glazes, my packing stuff, and then I have a glaze test board and all my tools up there. And then I wanted a double sink for like one for glaze, one for clay. Not that I've really stuck to it, but that was the idea. But like most stuff I was finding as I went. So like the sinks I found in the garden, the taps I found under the stairs, and the slate I found in the garage. So lots of it I've just reused from around the farm, really. And then, so that's kind of where I store all my clay bits that I have made, first of all, before they go in the kiln, and then they become bisware, so then they go over there, and then they get glazed, and then they go on my little display shop shelf over here. So it's kind of like, there's like a circle as you move around is the idea. Yeah. And then the other end is more like lunch, and where you can sit and relax and chill, and so this is more like the work end.
So it's definitely kind of built for welcoming people in.
Yes. Yeah, that was always the idea. So I try to keep it so it's accessible. So like the doors open so you'd be able to get in. Wheels and anyone could come through that door, basically.
So what is your background?
My background is in teaching. Yeah. So I was a secondary school teacher. So I've done that 3-4 years up in Surrey. So teaching art from year 7 to GCSE. Quite a lot of GCSE towards the end. And just really enjoyed teaching people and showing them new skills, and building confidence is the main thing. Yeah.
So what made you move back then?
Home. I think I always knew I was going to come back to Cornwall at some point. Yeah. I think Cornish people have this draw, especially to the sea and home. So I think it was just COVID gave me the space to stop and think. And I realised actually, if I wasn't going to move then, when would I? Yeah. Because I don't have any responsibilities. So I thought, now's the time. This was always been a dream to do. So I might as well go for it. I kind of got what I wanted to do in Surrey, worked my way up, taken on the department, and got a lot of GCSE pupils through. It was very hard leaving them. Yeah. It's a really hard decision as a teacher to exit, because you get so attached to all your pupils, especially like your tutor group. So I'd seen them from year 7, and I was with them to year 10, and saying goodbye is quite hard. But one of them actually turned up the other day.
Oh, really?
So she was on holiday down in Coverack with her family, and her whole family turned up. I didn't know they were coming.
That's so nice
to see them, yeah.
And I guess she really loved looking at your space and what you were doing.
So I'd always told my tutor group that my dream, because in PSHE you do dreams, what your dream would be, and mine was to build a studio and to have exhibitions and things. Yeah. And this girl was like, "You've done it!" Yeah, it was so nice.
So encouraging for her as well, because I guess that says to her that you can. If you have a dream, then you can go
so
and
when I left,
do it.
She was like, "Yeah, no, I get it. You're going to go and do your thing." And I was like, "Yeah, I am." Yeah.
That's really encouraging. Okay, so you said that you do clay work, but you also paint.
Yeah.
So what I want to know is what inspires you in your work, and how do you kind of create new pieces?
Yeah. So, I mean, you can probably see it's inspired by the sea. Yeah. So kind of surrounded by coastal blues. Colour's probably a really big thing in my work. I kind of like it to be very colourful, with lots of blues and greens and, subtle colours in there as well, kind of complementary as well. So you can probably see there's like a lot of blue, green, but then like hints of orange, and just it's really the sea, and just I love to be out, go for walks and go by the cliffs, get in the sea sometimes when it's warm enough. It's all sea inspired.
And so which came first though, painting or pottery?
Painting came first. I got into that after uni. I was on a job looking after kids in like a boarding school. I had to look after them all weekend, so they kind of just did their own thing. So I was like, what can I do while I'm here? And the art department had these water mixable oils, which I'd never used before. I was like, I'm just going to give it a go. And I used to spend hours just painting while the kids were just running around. And then some of them started to join me. It was quite fun. But that's what got me into the painting. Yeah. And then I actually had my first go on a wheel in that school as well. It was quite a cool department. There was a lot, it was very run down, and a new teacher had just taken it on. And so we were resetting up loads of stuff. like the photography, screen printing, all sorts. So I learned loads, and I got to try lots of things as well.
I love that, actually, when you have that free rein to kind of explore and experiment and try different things.
Yeah, it was great. It was a really good job to do.
It sounds a bit like what you would do on a foundation year of art.
Yeah. I did a foundation, but this was probably a bit more free because I didn't have anyone instructing me, so it was like...
So very independent learning, which is good.
Yeah.
Kind of, you find your own way then, don't you? And your own voice as well.
Yeah, definitely. It was really cool.
So you had a go on a wheel, and did that then, you just kind of thought, I want to explore this more?
Yeah, the pottery came a little bit later. Yeah. So while I was teaching in Surrey, I took up an evening course in Farnham. There's a really amazing pottery there. And we used to go every Monday evening for like a couple of years. And that really kicked off the pottery, to be honest. Just, it's fascinating. There's so many processes. And it was quite free in terms of you just turn up. Initially, it was very much teaching on the wheel. And then after that, they kind of just let you do your own projects. And there was a glaze room and just had fun, really.
So, talk us through your pottery making. You know, what is the process from clay lump to finished kind of piece?
Usually I'd start on the wheel, probably if it was a product that I wanted to repeat and make lots of. And then once you've made it, like on a bat, so you take it off the bat, you let it dry out, and then you turn it. So once it's dry enough, you kind of trim it down and make it all perfect on the bottom. And then once it's done that, you leave it to dry, and then it goes in the kiln for its first firing, which is like a bisque firing. So that's like 1,000 degrees. So that gets rid of all the water and turns it into a ceramic. And then you glaze it, and then you fire it again, a little bit higher this time, and then you've got your finished product.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's quite a long process.
And which part of the process do you enjoy the most? Or do you find all of them have bits that you like? Or
Yeah, I think the bit I enjoy most is the glazing. Yeah. I just love just trying different colours, and I hadn't made glazes before until I started my studio, and you can make your own recipes and like create some really cool colours, and you never know what's going to come out. It's so exciting opening a kiln glaze fire. Yeah. Like it's the best thing.
Do you find that, you open the kiln and you're like,
Sometimes it can be very disappointing. It can be slightly heartbreaking when, like, I don't know, one of them's run and it's all stuck to the kiln, and then of course you've got to sort out the shelf and adapt the glaze to try and stop it from running. And it can be disappointment, highs and lows when you open the kiln door, but worth it.
Would you prefer to paint a picture or make a pot?
Oh, I don't know. They're so different. I'm not sure. At the moment, it's all been about the pottery, just because I've been setting it up and it takes quite a lot to get your head around everything. Yeah. But I am kind of doing the odd painting on days when I just feel like a little break from the ceramics.
Yeah, I think actually that's quite nice then, isn't it? You're able to work in a different medium. And do you find that they help each other? Do you find that you take ideas from...
Probably colour-wise is the main crossover on paintings and ceramics. So like I might do a really nice painting of the sea. I think, ooh, that's such a nice colour. Can I replicate that in a glaze? Yeah. So that's probably my main crossover, really.
Just tell us about what you're working on at the moment. I'd love to hear, what you're working on in your painting, and then also what you're working on in your clay.
So my painting, I'm currently doing my sister's wedding present, actually, which has been quite an epic piece. Yeah. So it's a picture of when we went down to the beach at Gwithian, looking across to Dreamy Lighthouse. Yeah. So that evening, it was a really beautiful evening, and I took a lot of photos actually because the sun changed a lot and the clouds, so it was almost raining and then it was sunny. It was just so dramatic, and really beautiful scenes. So I've done quite a lot of paintings on this series, which I put in an exhibition, and then I thought, actually, I really love this one in particular, but I wanted to combine it with another one, so I've tweaked it slightly, bit of artistic license, and built that into a painting. So it's got a lot of drama in it. I mean, when I'm painting, I like to try and create like an atmosphere through like the light, really. Lots of dark clouds, but then the light is coming through, and then I'm trying to use quite a lot of complementary colours in the shadows. So there's a lot of purple and orange going on, and then the blues and the yellows. So they're all kind of, I'm hoping they're all working together. Using quite a lot of colours, but hopefully fairly subtly, because I've tried to vary the tone. It's pretty much done, I think, now. It's about 1 metre by 1.5 meters. They've got a massive room downstairs, which is basically their sitting room, dining room, all in one. So it will fit on the wall. This year is I've thought this, I need to experiment and kind of find my style and my colours, especially with my pottery. Just working on lots of functional pieces, really. So like mugs, jugs, pots, and building stock and playing with colours. So I've put some in my first gallery, which is good. It's going out in September, so that's exciting, down on the Lizard. I just want to keep making and do some craft fairs and things, and I've also got quite a lot to do for my sister's wedding, so I'm making all the wedding favours. So it's like 120 pots, which at the time I thought was a really good idea, because I thought, any pot that goes slightly wrong, or I can play with them and experiment with colours. And the first 60 were good, but I realised there's another 60 to go, so we're just keeping that's keeping me busy.
A lot of practice, though. That's on the wheel. Which
has been really good, because it's surprising how much you come on quite quickly if you do it quite consistently every day. So that's been really good, actually. And then, just lots of experiments. There's so many different things you can do. So I've been doing like plaster casts of like flowers and things, and seeing if I can do like an indent or a relief, or try and play with that, and like transfers I've been playing with as well, and loads of ideas. It's finding your thing, really, isn't it? So
because you do have to play, don't you, in order to find something that works for you.
I think for me, I can't make stuff fast enough, because I just want to try a different glaze or a different idea. So it's really about making, but also selling a bit to keep funding it.
That's what you need as well, isn't it? It's the pressure of paying and paying bills, but then still having the fun element of being able to play with the medium.
The great thing about the gallery, I've just put some in, she was like, just keep playing. We really wanted to see what you do, so just play. So that's been really nice. So I'm going to keep playing, and she wants coastal things. So I was like, great. Suits me really well.
It's important, isn't it, though, to establish those relationships? And especially ones with galleries that understand you and the way you're working, and also what level you're at, and how they can then encourage you.
So I've told her, where I am at, and she's good with that, so that's good.
And also it's local, isn't it?
Yes, I want to try and find some more galleries, more local ones, so that would be good.
It's definitely going to be different, isn't it, when you are full-time doing it to when you're having to snatch days here and there?
Yes, it is very different, because your mind's always full of school stuff, so you never really tune out. But now all my mind is full of is creative stuff, so it's very... I do feel like you actually have a proper chance to give it a go. Because, otherwise kids... like different projects pop up in your mind, like GCSE, you're like, that'd be a good one for that, but you're never really concentrating on your own work.
So this must be a whole...
It's so weird.
It's like a new thought.
2 months to let all the school stuff go and just defrag from it all. And now my mind is just filled with creative process, so really weird.
It'd be really exciting to see where you are in a year, you know, what you've kind of done over the year.
Yeah.
And what projects you've kind of taken on. And
yeah, because I feel like it's just starting, really.
Yeah.
Very much at the beginning. So, yeah, excited to see where it goes, definitely.
Yeah.
I've got lots of ideas for expansion. It's just going to take time to get there. I'd like to do like pottery weekends away and do some like shepherd's huts, and you know, it'll be in time. This is like the 5-10 year plan.
Have retreats here then as well.
It'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to like convert a barn, or you know, do like have you ever seen the Michael Walpurgo farms where they have the kids out for the week?
Oh no.
I actually went to visit one to like just out of interest.
Yeah.
And yeah, they take kids out of cities for a week, generally primary, and just let them have a go in the countryside and cooking their own food, and yeah, just amazing the results, and like how they bring the children on. Like this guy told me so many amazing stories of just like, I don't know, like a kid who only eats baked beans every day, and then he was eating fresh food every day, and he was just, the difference was incredible. And learning where all their food really came from, because obviously they've only seen packets before.
Yeah.
Or like a selective mute who wouldn't say anything and just lived in this tiny little box room with her mum, and then getting out in the countryside, just she began talking, and just incredible stories.
Yeah.
But yeah, I always find that very inspiring. So, you know, maybe 20-year plan.
I think that's really though good for you to think though in that way, you know, because it opens you up and you start seeing possibilities and opportunities. Yeah. And also it kind of sets you on a course as well if you have an idea.
Yeah,
guess where you want to go with it. And
I know. Yeah, that's the big dream. There's like very many stages to get there, but I think for now it's just set up, get started, and then see where it goes.
Yeah, I was going to ask about your workshops, whether you tailor them just for adults or whether you do children's workshops.
I mean, I haven't specified on there. I've just said like if someone's under 16, then they must have an adult. So I haven't really. It has been adult so far, but maybe in time I'll look into doing some specific children's ones. But at the moment it's adults. It's actually really nice to teach a different age group as well, just as a different experience. It's surprising how, just like underconfident adults are. Like kids are always willing to just have a go. Yeah. Like year 7s especially, they're just like, yes, please. We'll make anything. Yeah. They don't care. They're willing to try anything. But adults are much more tentative and scared of going wrong.
I think that's it, isn't it? You're afraid to make a mistake, and that kind of then limits you in what you do, because you're controlling the outcome, aren't you? Yeah. Whereas actually we always know that the best outcomes are sometimes the ones you don't control.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Sometimes that thing you do in a rush and you're just like, I'll just chuck that glaze on and just see what happens, is sometimes the most amazing outcome. The imperfection is sometimes the thing that actually makes something beautiful. So sometimes just letting go is what you need to do.
What kind of things have helped people find your work?
So social media is obviously a big one. So set up Instagram and Facebook. I think like Facebook pages are a massive one. Like so many people see them. So like putting them on little like local notice boards. Like physically I've gone round and dropped flyers and things, but I think the internet is more powerful these days. It can tell a lot of people quite quickly. But also word of mouth as well is really good. So if you had a good workshop, then you're like, just tell other people.
Word of mouth is a good one.
Strong down here.
I think it is though across the board at times, because I will often, take up someone's recommendation, a personal recommendation, more than maybe if I see something and I'm like, I don't know. Yeah,
because then it's good, because you trust that person, don't you?
Exactly. So. Yeah, I have actually seen your flyers around in coffee shops. I think it's a good thing.
People take them and they're like, can I drop them in this coffee shop? I'm like, yes, please do.
Yeah, and do you think it is important, I guess, to connect with other local businesses in the area?
Yeah, I mean, that's something I'd like to develop more. Yeah. I've got one in the pipeline I'm doing something for, but yeah, definitely want to do some more of that. But yeah, it's just time.
Yeah.
Fitting it all in.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Time in the studio, time making, your admin, and then also spreading the word about what you do.
Yeah, and then it's like firing people's work and things and looking after it, making sure it all comes out.
You're not quite through the first year, are you, of working here?
I probably opened to the public in June, so it's probably been about 3 months.
Yeah.
Probably took me about 5 months to actually set up and get it all sorted. Surprising how long it takes. Yeah. Just painting and furniture and making things, and it'll be interesting to see what our winter is like as well. I feel like more locals hopefully will come in the winter, because it's hard in the summer, isn't it? Everyone's so busy. So I'm just going to have to work on heating.
Do you get a lot of tourists coming through?
Not huge amounts, no. I keep meaning to make a bigger sign for the end of the lane, if I'm honest. It's on my list, but I didn't want to be overwhelmed straight away. So I've kind of left it there for now. So people are finding me, but in time I will make it more clear. And
I guess events may start, opening up again as well, like open studios.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. That would be really good.
I think this space would be marvellous for that.
Yeah. You could run little workshops, and that would be cool. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, just see how it goes,
What advice would you give to your younger self?
Younger self? Oh. I don't think I would have done it differently. I really appreciate my teaching time. I think it taught me a lot. It was a big learning curve. So I think that was really good. Probably just being a bit braver with putting your work out there, because it is quite scary and people do criticise it. So not everyone's going to love it, and you have to accept that and move on. But yeah, so I did an exhibition with one of my previous colleagues up in Haslemere, and it was just so nice to actually properly put all your work out there and have people come and see it. And it's generally more positive than you anticipate it to be. It's just very scary. It's all right showing your family, but then often your family are more critical than a stranger. So actually it's probably better to get it out there, because your family have strong opinions generally.
You're right, you are right in that. And sometimes if you listen just to your family, it can maybe slow your progress as well.
Yeah. So definitely just go for it.
Yeah. So how would you describe your art practice in 3 words?
Colourful, coastal, and cheerful.
3 C's.
3 C's. I went 3 C's. I went for an alliteration.
So let's just hear where people can find you online.
Okay. So there's a website, www.lowenekartstudio.co.uk, and then Instagram, it's just Lowenek Art Studio, and Facebook, Lowenek Art Studio.
Brilliant.
So just spelling it. I know it's a Cornish word, so even I spell it wrong sometimes.
And is there anything you would like people to know about you that you haven't mentioned?
Maybe just as a teacher, because I get a lot of people coming through the door that are quite underconfident or had a bad experience at school or something like that. Just to say that I will always encourage you and applaud you for experimenting, and you don't need to worry. If you're a beginner, it's about having a go. It's about enjoying the process. So if in doubt, come along and have a go. Don't be afraid.
That's good advice for us, isn't it? Anyway, as creatives, don't be afraid to experiment.
Because I think some people are a bit nervous. I had one lady the other day who'd never even touched clay. She made an amazing piece, but she was a bit nervous to begin with. But don't worry, I'm not going to rip out your work.
Thanks guys for listening into our creative conversation. Please go and check out Pippa's work. I will put all the links in the description below, and I'll speak to you again very soon.